G'day guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Diane and I live full-time in my bus with my dog Pepper. And we've been on the road for a whole month now. We left Queensland a bit over 4 weeks ago and we're slowly making our way south. Now, I haven't done a proper grocery shop since we left 4 weeks ago, and the food supplies are getting a bit low. And I also have a list of some other things that I need. So we're pretty much at the point where I need to have a serious shopping day. And where we are here at the moment in Uralla, there isn't much in the way of big stores or supermarkets. But we are about an hour's drive away from Tamworth, which is quite a large city, and it's pretty much the biggest commercial centre in this region. So it's a good opportunity to get the shopping that I need to get done while we've got access to those stores. But of course, for us, it's not just a simple matter of nipping down to the shops and getting what we want, because I live in a bus that's 7.5 meters long, almost 3 meters high. It doesn't fit in a normal car park space. And of course, I also have Pepper with me. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do with her while I go into the shops. So there's a bit of planning involved for us in a shopping day like this. And I know you guys have been asking to see what day-to-day reality of life is like in the bus. So I thought in this week's episode, I'd bring you along and I'd show you just what sort of planning is involved when I want to do a big shop like this and how I actually go about doing it. So if all I needed was a bit of a grocery top up, then it wouldn't be such an issue because I can actually leave Pepper in the bus for reasonably short periods of time. If I do it early enough in the day when it's not too hot, then I can leave her in the bus and just go into a grocery store for 20 or 30 minutes to get what I need. So I could pretty much do a grocery top up in any town that's got a reasonable size grocery store. But I actually need quite a few other things. I need to get a new saucepan because the one that I've been using in the bus, the handle is busted and it's pretty much useless. So I need a new saucepan. I need to find a present for my dad. He's got a birthday coming up in a few weeks, so I need to get him something that I can post back to Queensland. I need to get some of my medication prescriptions filled, and I need some new clothes. Like I need some long sleeve shirts because I'm finding that even with wearing sunscreen every day, I'm getting way too much sun on me, and it's not a good thing because I've got a history of melanomas, as some of you'll know if you've watched my videos for a while, and I just can't afford to have any more sun damage. So I need to try and find some long sleeve shirts that are comfortable enough to wear in summer. And I also need some new bras and a few other things. So Tamworth is a really good option because it's a decent sized city. It's got lots of supermarkets and department stores and op shops and things that I can hopefully find what I need there. The first thing I have to think about, and the biggest issue I have when planning a shopping day like this, is what to do with Pepper, because obviously she can't come into the shops with me. So I have to think about where she's going to go and how I'm going to keep her safe while I'm doing the shopping. I have left her in the bus a couple of times while I quickly nip into a little local shop to get something, but I can't leave her for long periods of time because she does get anxious when I'm not with her, especially if the bus is parked in a strange place. The other big issue, of course, is that we are in the middle of summer here in Australia. It gets very hot, and it's just not an option to leave her in the bus during the day in this kind of weather. At the moment here in Uralla, it's not so bad. I mean, you can tell this morning I've got my jumper on because it's actually cool in the mornings here. But it gets warm during the day. And once we head south into Tamworth, we come down off the mountains. It's going to be very hot down there. In fact, for the next week in Tamworth, the temperatures are going to be in the mid to high 30s. So very hot, not an option to leave Pepper in the bus at all. Now, for some people, there's the option of pet sitters or doggy daycare. And that's something that we may be able to do in the future. I haven't ruled that out, but at the moment, it's not really an option for us because Pepper has a few issues. You probably know she's a rescue dog, and she was already 9 months old almost when I adopted her. So she came with a bit of baggage. She does get anxious. She also has some behavioral issues and can get a bit testy, particularly when she is anxious and nervous. She tends to get a bit defensive. And so I don't like the idea of leaving her with a stranger who doesn't know her and doesn't know how to manage some of her behaviors. And so I don't really feel comfortable just dropping her off at doggy daycare or with a pet sitter that I don't know. But one thing I have discovered since we've been traveling is that some veterinary clinics will actually allow you to board the dog there for a few hours while you go off and do shopping or whatever. Now, a lot of vets won't do this, but some will. So it's just a matter of asking. So in this instance, I know we're coming up to Tamworth. It's a good opportunity to get the shopping done. So I got onto Google and I looked up the vets in town, and I emailed them all to ask whether it would be possible to leave Pepper with them for a few hours while I got all my shopping done. Now, some of the vets just didn't respond at all, which I find really frustrating. But one vet got back to me pretty quickly actually and said, yep, no problem, we can do that, no trouble. She can stay with us for the day. It'll cost $18, which sounded incredibly reasonable to me. So that was the Green Cross Vets in South Tamworth. So straight away I got onto Google Maps and I looked up where they were and looked at the street view, and it turns out that there's quite good access there to get the bus in and park to drop her off at the vet. So that's perfect. So now, I know she's going to be anxious being stuck at the vet for the day. I know she's just going to be in a crate. So it's not going to be ideal for her, but she'll be cool. It's air conditioned, and I know she'll be safe. So I don't have to worry about her, and I can just get on and get the things that I need as quickly as possible. The next thing, obviously, that I have to figure out is where am I going to do my shopping, and am I going to be able to get the bus to the stores that I want to access? So the first thing I do is I do a search to see what supermarkets are in a town. So I've just done a search for Woolworths here in Tamworth. So there's one here, and then there's another one over here. So what I do is I'm on satellite view here, which I find is the most useful for actually seeing what's in an area. So I'm going to zoom in on this Woolworths here, and you can see it's like in a shopping centre with a whole bunch of other shops, which is usually problematic because that means that there's undercover parking, which is not an option for my bus. So you can see though there is a bit of an outside car park here, and potentially I could park the bus across two spaces here if there was room. So what I'm going to do now is just go to Street View. So I can just have a look and see what is actually here, and straight away I see this problem here, and I find this really frustrating. Even though the car park area here is completely open, there's no shade sails or anything over it, I could potentially park the bus there. They've got this stupid low height barrier thing across the entry gate, and this particular one doesn't even tell you what height it is, but there's a sign here. I don't know if I zoom in you'll be able to read it. It says no trucks. So it's a bit hard to tell how high this is, but it doesn't look high enough to get the bus under. So that particular Woolies is probably not going to be an option for me. There does look like there might be street parking here. But if I swing around, you can see that it's only 15 minutes, which is not going to be enough time for me to get in and do a big shop. So yeah, again, that's not really an option. So we'll go back and we'll have a look at this Woolies, which is over here. Okay, so this one looks like it might have a bit more potential. It's got a nice big outdoor car park, does have some shade sails, but there's spaces around there with no cover, and looks like I might have options to like take up two parks. So again, I'll go to Street View, and So that's the car park there. Now, unfortunately, at the entrance, they've got a low clearance thing, which again really annoys me. I get it because obviously that's the height of the shade sails, but they do have all this open area out here that a bigger vehicle could potentially park in, but you can't actually get into the car park, which is really frustrating. So just here, there looks like there's an open bit to get in. It's technically not an entrance, but you know, I could sneak the bus in there, except that it looks a little bit narrow there where the shade sails come over, and this turn here would be a bit narrow possibly. I don't know. I could potentially get in there if I was a bit naughty and went in the exit and could maybe get the bus around the corner here and park over there. So that might be an option, but I'm going to go and see what other options I have in town first. So I'm just going to get out of this and we'll search for Coles instead. Wow, and there's actually, this one down here is a Liquorland. So there's actually 3 Coles in Tamworth. So it's quite a big city. I'll have a look at the one in the CBD first. So again, I'm going to go to satellite view and I'm just going to zoom in to where Coles is, and it looks like it's inside a shopping centre where there's again street parking just for normal sized cars, which is not an option for us. There's a big outdoor car park there, shade sails. Doesn't look like there's options to take up double car parks in there. There's like some sort of a barrier there between these ones, so unfortunately that one's not going to be an option. We'll try this one, the one in South Tamworth, and it looks like it's got an outdoor car park with some potential spaces there. So again, we'll go to Street View and we'll have a look. Okay, so this is the car park here for Coles, and there's an entrance here that's totally fine for the bus, and it looks like there's potential here. Like, it depends how busy it is when I get there, but you know, I can potentially park the bus this way and take up 2 car parks. So that one there is definitely an option. There's also like a nice wide kind of road there that I can pull in and turn to park the bus as well. And what's up here? Okay, so again, another entrance exit, totally open, heaps of room for getting the bus in and out. So that's definitely an option, that one, if I can get there at a time where it's not too busy and there's space in this car park section here. And I'll just have a quick look at Tamworth North Coles. So that's over here. And again, there's like a outdoor looking car park there. That's a possibility. Let's have a look. Street view here. Where are we? Okay, so this is the car park. So I don't know what time of day it was that Google took this photo, but there was obviously hardly any cars in the car park then. And so there would be plenty of space to park the bus. I mean, I could take up 4 or 5 car parks if I parked lengthways if there was no other traffic. So this one here, again, is potentially an option. Obviously, if I can get there when the car park's mostly empty like this, then I'll have no trouble getting in and parking the bus. But I'll try the one in South Tamworth first. It's also the closest to the vet where I'm dropping off Pepper, so it could work out well. Well, good morning, guys. We are in the caravan park here in Tamworth. We're staying in a park on the outskirts of town. It's right next to the New England Highway. Like, literally, my site is the other side of the fence from the highway, so you can probably hear a bit of traffic noise. It's pretty loud. It's probably the most depressing caravan park I've ever stayed in, to be honest. It's very old and run down. There's kind of broken stuff all over the place. There's a bit of grass, but it's full of prickles, so there's not really anywhere nice to be able to walk Pepper. But having said all that,
it's all good because we're not here to sightsee. We're here to do our big shopping day, which we're going to try and do today. So I'm just going to finish getting ready, and then we're going to take Pepper and drop her off at the vet so that I can get my groceries and run around town and get all the other things that I need to do today. So we've just pulled up at the vet's, and I've just taken Pepper across the road because I'm trying to get her to do a poo before I drop her off there today. This is the third walk I've taken her on this morning. And of course she's doing everything but doing a poo. So this is my last attempt. I don't want her to be stuck in the vet's all day and needing to go to the toilet, because that wouldn't be very nice. So I'm really hoping that I can get her to go soon. Pepper, do a poo. Yay, finally success. Right, mission accomplished. Now I can drop her off. Alright, well I've just dropped Pepper off. Oh, I feel terrible. She wasn't happy about me leaving her there, but at least I know she'll be in the aircon and she'll be nice and cool. And she'll be safe. Like, I just can't leave her in the bus and do all that I need to get done today. So it's about 9:45 in the morning, and I've got until the vets close at 6, so I should have plenty of time hopefully to get what I need today. First thing I'm going to do is go to Coles and see if I can get a park in that car park and get my grocery shopping done. I would have liked to have got there like when they first opened this morning, when there's a better chance of the car park being empty, but it just wasn't going to work out with the timing with the vet. So it is what it is. We'll go there, and fingers crossed we can get a park. That was fortunate. There was a couple of spaces with no cars in the double spot, so yep, I've been able to get a park here. I'm just going to leave the aircon running while I'm in the supermarket as well, because we're in full sun here. There'll be no issues at all of it draining my battery while we're parked here, and it'll just help to keep the bus nice and cool, so that I'm not going to die of heat exhaustion when I come back to unpack the groceries. It's already starting to warm up here in Tamworth this morning. So one of the benefits of having the aircon in the bus is for situations like this. If I'm parked in town and I'm in full sun, I can leave the aircon running in the bus, and so it's not really hot when we get back in. All right, that's blown the grocery budget for the next month. I might have gone a bit overboard. I bought some extra snacks and things because I just felt like treating myself. I managed to buy a saucepan in there as well, so hopefully it'll do the trick. That's one less thing I can cross off my list. I don't have to worry about looking for one of those in town. Just need to get the cold stuff in the fridge and the freezer and pack this stuff as best I can so it's not going to move around when I'm driving around the rest of today. Some things like this spinach I buy, like it comes in a box, but I know that inside it's in like a resealable bag, and if I ditch this box straight away, it's a lot easier to fit that into the freezer than to try and fit a box. So I always try and do that as much as I can to kind of reduce the size of the packaging. Like that is a lot easier to fit in the freezer than 2 boxes.
same with the fish. Like I buy my fish fillets in a fairly big box, but what I normally do is empty them out of here into a Ziploc bag, and that takes up a lot less space in the freezer. So I should. Yeah, so you can see I've still got a couple of fillets left in this bag. I'm just going to empty this box into here. There we go. So, and I just keep them in that. And I mean, it's roughly the same size, but this can be sort of molded to fit a bit better in the freezer than a rigid box like that. Now, a lot of the meat that I bought today, I'm going to portion up later on this evening and freeze it. But just for now, I need to put it in the fridge until I can do that. And this is always the biggest challenge when I do a big grocery shop like this in the bus, that the fridge, I've got a massive fridge, but still it only holds so much. So I've bought a lot of yogurt and a lot of meat today, and it's all got to fit in the fridge until this evening when I can divvy it up and freeze it. You ask, no, I don't like sardines. I'm not a fan, but Pepper loves them, so these are for her. The other thing I like to do just to help keep everything organized is my little tub here that I've got with all the tin stuff. I actually write on the top of the tin like what's in there, so that when I pull it out I can just look straight down and I'm not having to rummage through the tins to see what I've got. I mean, it all takes a little bit of time at the start, but it saves me heaps of time, like, in the long run. And that, my friends, is why I love my big fridge. Because I can do a massive shop like this. And I know some people are going to think this is ridiculous, but if I had to buy smaller quantities of meat at local butchers or, you know, in smaller towns, things like yogurt and cheese, it would cost me an absolute fortune. So being able to buy it all in a big centre like this does help to save me money. Right, so I managed to get everything away. That's a massive grocery shop, so what we've got there now will last us for several more weeks, which is good, because obviously it's a lot easier for me to do this when Pepper's not here than it is for me to, you know, to leave her in the bus and all of that. So anyway, that's the first big job done. Now we're going to head into town and see if I can get some of these clothes that I'm after. And as you can see, I'm still running the aircon, and because I'm getting plenty of solar in, my batteries are at 100%. And the bus is lovely and cool. Okay, so once again, I try and get a sense of where I'm going to park the bus in a big town by having a look first on Google Maps. So this is obviously a map showing the CBD of Tamworth. Now, this street here, Peel Street, is kind of like the main shopping street in the CBD. So a few of the op shops that I want to see are kind of clustered together at this end of the street, and then there's also a Kmart up here and some other shops that I'd like to check out. And so this street here is where I'd want to be spending a bit of time when I'm in town. And also over here is where Big W is. Now I need to go to Big W to get my bras, so I'm going to want to be going over here as well. If I zoom in here to Peel Street, where I want to be, you can see that a lot of parking in that street
There's all the reverse angle parking that only fits like normal sized cars. Now my bus is 7.5 meters long and there's no way I can get it into a park like that. So street parking is not an option for me. This one over here looks like it might have a bit more space, and it's got like, you know, spaces where you could potentially park a longer vehicle if there weren't cars there. But if you look closer, you can tell that all the car parks here have numbers on them, which suggests to me that it's probably reserved for, you know, whatever's in these buildings here. So probably not going to be an option. And also, if I park down here, then I'll just zoom out again. If I park down here to be close to the op shops, then it's quite a walk all the way up here to Big W and all the way back. And it is going to be super hot, so the less walking I have to do out in the sun, the better. Now, if I zoom into here, like this looks like there's a bit of a car park or something, open space there. So if I zoom in here, there's actually like a big car parking space there, and this is like all sporting grounds and things here. And you can see that it looks like there's like already a big bus parked in there, and it's a couple of vans that are a little bit bigger than what a normal sized car, which is what this would be. So the fact that there's a big bus parked like that in there tells me that for a start, a bus that size can get in there, and also that there's no barriers in the middle of these parks here, so that you can actually park across two parks. So that actually looks like a good place to park the bus. And I know, because I've asked Google Maps, that it's about a 10-minute walk from here up to Big W and a 10 to 15-minute walk from here into Peel Street. So it's kind of central to where I want to go. So that's my plan. I'm going to try and take the bus in there and hopefully get a park in there. Well, here we are. I tell you what, I'm glad I looked on that satellite image and saw that this car park was here, because I never would have been able to find that. Like, it just seems to be in the middle of nowhere. But anyway, the sign said free parking area, and I can't see anything about limits or anything. So, and they've definitely got spaces here for big rigs and caravans. So perfect. So hopefully Google Maps is right, and it's now just a 15-minute walk into the main street in town. And I'm going to go and check out some op shops and hopefully get some clothes. Well, I hope she's going to be safe there. We're the only ones in the whole car park. She's still here, and she's still the only one in the car park. Oh, it is hot out there. I think I've pretty much finished my shopping. I didn't have a lot of success in the op shop, sadly. I did find a couple of long sleeve shirts, which I think will be okay. And then I went to Kmart and actually bought some long sleeve shirts there. So I think I've probably got enough. I'm not going to win any fashion awards, but you know, the important thing is I got to keep the sun off me, because I can't afford to have any more melanomas. So anyway, hopefully that's done. Grocery shopping's all done. Filled some scripts at the chemist. I managed to get a birthday present for my dad as well. I think I'm pretty much got everything done on my list. Tell you what, I'm looking forward to sitting down back at the caravan park this afternoon. It's been a big day, and it's 34 degrees here in Tamworth today, and it's hot when you're walking around the streets. But anyway, got all my shopping done, so let's go and pick up Pepper.
Hello, baby. Hello. Hello.
She is ready to go for
Thank
you.
you so much. Ah, no, no, no. Hey, sweetheart. Hello. No worries. Okay, let's go. Thank you. Good girl. Hey, hey. All right, you had a good day, no? You want to go to the toilet? Come on, sweetie. Come on. You a good dog? Hey. You a good girl? Good girl. Yeah. Okay guys, well we are back in the caravan park. I'm exhausted. That was a big day. It was quite hot in Tamworth today, and walking around the streets in the sun, yeah, it was really hot. I think Pepper was actually better off in the aircon at the vet's where she was. She was nice and cool when I picked her up this afternoon. But yeah, it was a good day though. I did manage to get pretty much everything that was on my list. So it was good to have that opportunity. I didn't film as much as I wanted to, didn't get as much footage, and I also thought I was recording a couple of times, but didn't realize until I got back here just now that I obviously didn't push the record button. I'm actually very good at doing that, so I really need to work on that. But anyway, hopefully it was enough to give you guys an idea of how we do things like this, and especially the planning that goes into having a big shopping day for us. I have a takeaway pizza for dinner because I can't be bothered cooking tonight. I'm so tired, and Pepper's pretty exhausted too. She's flaked out on her bed outside in the shade. I think it's a big day for her. We'll be checking out of this caravan park tomorrow. It's going to be 36 degrees here in Tamworth tomorrow, and yeah, I do not want to be here. So we're going to move on and try and find somewhere a little bit cooler. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, found it helpful, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey, is that yummy?